this is the same group that 2 weeks ago stormed the Regional Security Coordinator's office, so appointed by the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, got him out of office forcefully, manhandled him. They were arrested. Today they were arraigned before court, and their members had to storm the court to get him out. Emmanuel Kuteng is actually a security analyst and also chief executive officer of Africa Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism. He's joined me in studio. Good evening to you. It's great to have you. You must be livid and very incensed about what you just saw on the television, isn't it?
In fact, actually, I think to start with, everyone, many Ghanaian, have to look at this as a very serious issue, and we need to remove political lenses in the discussion of this matter. In time past, we always cloud this kind of discussion with political lenses and we lose the substance. This is an attack on an arm of government. This is very treasonable. And I think
it is a treasonable act.
Yes. And you see, from my experience and coming from where I sit, you recall Boko Haram in Nigeria, they started as vigilante groups like we have in Ghana today. So this act, in my candid opinion, I would classify this act as a local act of terrorism on the state, because it's an attack.
A local act of terrorism
on the state, because it's an attack on an arm of government. And I think that politicians should go beyond the rhetoric and let us get the actions going. And you see, I put the blame squarely on the police. And look, let us be honest and call a spade a spade. 2 weeks ago, when they arrested the 13 people, you realize the euphoria that happened in Ashanti region.
Yes.
So, bearing all other facts that they are appearing in court today, police have put intelligence in place to get to find out if their supporters will come or not. And even it's 1+1 security will even tell you that the Delta Force, being a political vigilante group as they are, and the national youth organizer of the party have come to confirm as such, right? For them appearing in court, police have taken more action to safeguard the security of the premises.
No, there are two positions being postulated by the police in this case, because the interior minister is saying that they had adequate security presence there. The police failed to answer that question by Ashanti regional correspondent William Vasinkum, whether they anticipated or they had intelligence to this effect, because they say they had 20 police personnel accompanying these 13 suspects. How come that they were overpowered and these people had to run out of a courtroom?
You see, if you look at the statements coming from the police and the politicians, they don't even gel up. And the bottom line is that our security architecture needs realignment. It is so politicized, and it's so disheartening that the men and women we have in Ashanti region cannot contain the Delta Force. Then we are in for, you know.
You say that we should not link it to politics,
Yes.
but this is a group that is perpetuating criminality and illegality under the guise of political vigilantism, to the extent that they are openly associating themselves with the ruling government, and so confirmed by some executives of the party.
You see, there are two things here. I am saying that the discussion in finding solutions to what is happening, we shouldn't cloud it in political lenses. But there is no doubt that the Delta group are a political vigilante group.
Absolutely.
And the party have even come to admit that they are their members. So what is the party doing? Look, it's so sad. You see, Ghanaians voted for a change. And I have a simple advice for the MPP government. They shouldn't take the current goodwill they are enjoying with the Ghanaian people for granted. And you see, well-meaning party members should even know that you fought thick and thin to come to power. You understand? Yeah. And acts like this will only send the old man in his early grave. If you know the president, the number one gentleman of the country now, he will not countenance things like
this. To
the
extent that he went there over the weekend, the president explicitly condemned the acts of these persons and even called to the fact that the law will catch up with them. Just when he lives there, 3 days afterwards, we have such an act happening there. Who emboldens these persons to act in a clear disregard for the words and the directives of the president?
So it boils down to our security agencies. They've been trained to discharge their duties without fear and favor. What are the intelligence in Ashanti region doing? What are the security officers in the Ashanti region doing? The bottom line is this. It is very disingenuous when you have the Minister for National Security coming out to appearing before Parliament and saying that he's not aware of any registered vigilante group. Our laws does not allow the registration of any vigilante group, and it's public knowledge that these people are there. But when statements like this are coming from people who are supposed to be taking action, it's kind of very disingenuous.
Okay.
Well, to say the least.
Mr. Koting, I want to thank you. This discussion continues, but I'm grateful for your time. Mr. Koting is a security analyst and a chief executive officer of the Africa Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism. He described this as local act of terrorism.